My name is John Ross with Finance on a Budget. In this video, I want to convince you that financial independence is not a pipe dream. Be sure to subscribe, give the video a like, and ring the notification bell. If you think that being financially stable is easier said than done, then you're not alone. I've successfully spent a good chunk of my years trying to survive until the next paycheck arrives. Then, one day, I finally decided I didn't want to drown in old debt any longer. And it's not as simple as filing bankruptcy. That doesn't solve the underlying issue. The lifelong problem I needed to fix was accidental overspending. For us, my biggest issue is that my wife and I use the same bank account. The regular issue is that we would both fill up on gas in our cars, and the bank would not give any indication of either transaction. They always made excuses, but it was what it was. A few days after the weekend, I was bouncing because I didn't know she bought gas with basically the same money that I used. Now I had to find money for her $30 tank of gas and a $30 bounce fee. This type of nonsense happened all month long for years. The problem with most Americans is that we have poor habits of not tracking our spending. We throw caution to the wind, and when it comes to monthly budgeting, we don't even plan ahead. The reason why you're broke today is because the you of last month didn't plan for this month's property taxes, gas, oil, electric bills, etc. Did you know that property taxes come around once or twice a year? Yeah, I knew that too. But that never stopped me from having to magically find $300 for my car, $300 for my wife's car, because I never planned ahead. In my last video, I explained how my car was towed for failing to pay property taxes, and we had to walk across town on a Sunday to pay the tow yard to get the car back. If I had budgeted only $50 a month, I could have avoided the whole situation and saved the towing and storage fees. Every time you get your paycheck, you're hit with this huge inner struggle between spending it on things you want as opposed to things you actually need. To top that off, with all of your current debt, late fees, finance charges, and interest rates, and there's practically nothing left to save. You can't expect to solve all of your problems at once. It took you years to get to the point that you're at now. Before you set off on a road to financial independence, it's important that you keep a positive mindset. Take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, and 1 month at a time. Think about your situation as a puzzle. You can't acquire a puzzle already assembled. You start with a box, and it's not until you open it and see it for what it really is, a very complicated mess. The only way you can assemble it is one piece at a time. You start by picking out all the side pieces to create the outer framework. Once you have those boundaries in place, now you can start to make sense of the inner pieces. While it may seem like you're buried under a mountain of debt every month, there really is a way out. I know because I've been there. Stay positive, and if you can, grab an accountability buddy to hold you responsible for your expenses. Set bite-sized financial goals and stay consistent. Goal setting is just one key to good financial budgeting. Here's the harsh reality check. Like any addiction that's hard to shake off, the first 2 or 3 months is going to be the hardest. No, financial independence doesn't happen overnight. You're going to have to commit, set expectations with your partner, and look at the breakdown for your recurring bills. Analyze those numbers. What percentage is getting spent on rent and utilities? How much income is going towards paying off old debt? How do your credit card bills stack up? Personally, I sat myself down and pictured the worst case scenario. What would your life look like if you were to cut your family income in half? Remember, unemployment is less than half of your current salary, and even that is subject to about 35% in state and federal taxes. If you don't put those tax monies aside now, you'll need to do it tomorrow. How will you deal with unexpected emergencies? If you have to replace a flat tire, your cost is about $150 to $200. Since you should replace tires in pairs, that's actually about $350 to $400. If you don't have an emergency fund, what are you going to do? Oh wait, no problem, throw it on a credit card. That doesn't even bring into the realities of what would happen if a pandemic hit and the whole world is thrown into economic chaos. As hard as it is to believe, it happened. If this kind of thinking makes you sweat bullets, good. You need to feel that fear, because that's the only thing that will drive you to get up and do something about it. I can share a whole bunch of budgeting tools and strategies with you. I've got a lot. But if you don't feel motivated to budget right in the first place, then I honestly don't know why you're still listening to this. But you are listening. Now that you're ready to get serious about straightening out your financial situation, there are a myriad of apps on your phone that you think will help you do it. They probably won't, because you can't expect a generic app designed for ease of use to fix everything that's wrong in your financial life. Can they help? I guess, kind of. I've tried many, but nothing allowed me the flexibility to spread out across my entire computer screen and arrange it the way I wanted to. I needed to have the items arranged by due date, not by happy little categories. I needed a monthly spreadsheet that continually evolved for me every month. Now I can go back to last year's spending for this month and see if there are any once-a-year expenses I need to keep my eyes open for. Insurance premiums, property taxes, even special events. As long as they come back year after year, I have a reminder of what it was, when it was, and how much it cost. Now I can save 2 to 3 months early for it and not get a big expense one day that could have easily been avoided. I honestly believe that the only way you can properly budget and plan for the future is by using a spreadsheet. The important thing is to monitor dollar in, dollar out with realistic expectations and a whole lot of determination. Once everything is written down, it's time to eliminate the unnecessary spending. I'm not saying you can't have anything. You probably don't even need to sacrifice. You just need some better habits. And I really can't stress this enough. You need a lifestyle overhaul. Eating at home is like $5 less per person. Only get a haircut when you actually need to, and trim your beard yourself. Stop buying phone apps you don't need. Brew your own coffee rather than spending money at the coffee shops. Books are free at the library. Stop impulse buys. Add it to your cart instead. If you need it tomorrow, then buy it. Instead of booking a $3,000 vacation, look for day trips you can enjoy all spring, summer, and fall. I didn't say winter because we don't actually like the cold. However, we do use biking on trails as an excuse to travel around, and it's a free destination once we get there. Buy games that are a year old and cost less than half. Wait 3 months longer for the movie to be released on streaming. Cancel any memberships that you use less than 2 hours a week. I'm not saying you can't go out with your friends. I'm just saying eat before you go out so you won't be as hungry. Instead of paying for a gym that you may or may not be using, go outside, buy your own used equipment, or even buy some cheap weight bands. You do not need to use a Stairmaster when you have your own stairs. Quit smoking entirely because there's nothing good coming from that. I mean, seriously, I could keep going with things like this for the whole rest of the video. With all the unwanted clutter out of the picture, you can focus on managing your existing debt that you actually have right now. For instance, if you have a ton of bills that you just don't know how to prioritize, you can request for bill extensions or interest reductions. This way you can focus on the urgent ones first. Pay off those smaller credit cards to keep them from piling up with late fees and interest charges. If you can save $6 in interest from 3 cards, then you can pay a little extra on the next debt in line. I'll let you in on a nifty trick to lower your interest rates with your credit card company. Take 5 minutes, give them a call, and ask them for a 6-month introductory rate. Just let them know that you want to do a balance transfer to a 0% on another card, but you'd like to stick with them and if they can match the offer. If they can't, look elsewhere. These aren't the types of toxic companies I want you dealing with anyway. Credit one. Sorry. If you can ask for a change in regular due dates, do so. This will help you align the deadlines with your paychecks better. Every time you get a bonus or you come into unexpected money, use it to pay down debts or build your savings. Keep at it and eventually you'll start to see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. With all of your debt managed, it's time to start throwing money into the savings. When you're first starting out, remember that no amount is too small. Any amount you can save will mean the world to your future budget. Just be consistent about setting money aside, then gradually increase that number as you go. For me, after I started this whole budgeting thing, it took about 8 months before the first $100 stuck. I tried several times over those 8 months, but I simply wasn't ready for it yet. I needed to reduce enough debt before I didn't miss that $100. The second month was the holidays, so with our bonuses, I was able to put in another $260. Now that I've cleared enough of the back debt, I had to stop paying unnecessary late fees and bounce fees. I managed to put in $450 for month 3. By this point, I had figured out how to manage the spending, and I was saving another $660 for month 4. And then tax time came. By this point, I was saving so much money per month that the taxes were nothing more than money from heaven. I used that money to pay down some more debt, but most of it I put aside in savings. I had actual long-term goals I was shooting for. But all of this can be 1 year in your future too. Save your tax refund. Make use of store coupons. Liquidate assets you don't really need. Then throw that cash into your savings too. If you can't control your credit card expenses, freeze the card. Literally, in ice. Freeze them, but don't cut them up. You never know when you might need them when you're finally out of debt. Mostly, I just keep them around for the credit report. We have over $20,000 collecting dust on empty credit cards. It helps with the DTI, debt to income ratio. Finally comes the last step to achieving the sweet financial freedom, finding ways to earn more. If you have a crappy job, recognize that it's not going anywhere and you should find a better one. Ask for a raise if you can. Try to sell some stuff laying around the house and find ways that you can start weekend hustles and extra projects to take on the side. Try to look for new sources of income. The World Wide Web is a wonderful place to start a buy and sell business. There are tons of online platforms and sales channels that will let you connect with customers who need your special skills. Carpentry, landscaping, budgeting. Let me get real with you though. When it comes to selling secondhand items, don't expect to make a whole lot of money off of them. You can list random junk over the Letgo, OfferUp, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace all you want, but chances are people will only be willing to pay half your price, at most. Still, don't let that dissuade you. Every single cent you make helps. And if you can get rid of stuff and declutter your home while you're at it, why not? Just pretend that you're moving into an apartment that won't be big enough for all your stuff. When you're forced into that kind of situation, you'll be surprised at how many things you can actually get rid of. For us, we did move, and it was a huge downsize. Everything not bolted down had to go. Once I realized people were actually buying, I started unbolting things too. Ceiling fans, toilet, front and back door. Oh yeah, the bank wanted the house back, but nobody said what condition it had to be in. But that's a whole other video. Just keep thinking about what item or skill you can sell. If you can't find new ways to earn some extra money, then learn a new skill. Online courses are aplenty. You can learn anything from basic programming to home-based crafts for free. And you can apply what you've learned to your business or work. If you have some extra space at home, rent that out. There are limitless opportunities for weekend side hustles out there if you're determined enough. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, not one bit. The downside of all that is that you're going to make really tough decisions. You need to have self-control. You need your family to have self-control. It's going to be all hands on deck situation if you're ever going to get out of this financial mess. But just think about the upside. With financial independence, you can finally say goodbye to all those sleepless nights worrying about how you're going to survive for the next few weeks. I did. I bought a new mattress with cash. But I only say these things because you need fresh perspective, inspiration, and a new set of goals to live for. It's a healthier, happier, and more carefree life when you're free from debts. But you need to get started today. Your future self will thank you for it. In my last video, we started talking about financial planning and how having a good plan today will set you up for success next month. In my next video, we will be talking about the not so common reasons why you're financially unstable. I hope to see you then. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching.